Hello YouTube, this is Brian Tubbs coming at you with another video. Today I'm still working on this sculpture. We haven't came up with the name for it yet, but it's kind of based off the sculpture we did, Guardian, that we made for Tesla. I mean, it's somewhere along that line, but it's going to be different. The shield is different. This shield, it's core 10. There's just an I-beam here. Then I put these pieces that my wife and I came up with this idea. This is mild steel pieces here, just to fill in this area a little bit. Have the hose bored through here. We have the hose bored completely through the bottom, just to give it some negative space. Then this is all core 10. This is stainless steel on the inside here. And then I don't know if you guys remember the sword. It's not a sword, but it's the thing that will go in this area here. It's all stainless steel. Has the 3 holes in it. So this is kind of where I'm at on it now. I'm going to raise this upper portion up probably about 3 inches, because I'm going to take some tubes like this and put it up on this shelf, raise this up, and this piece will be sitting on 2 pipes like this on top of this shelf. So there'll be negative space going through here, and I'll have the tubes on top of the shelf, perfectly lined up with these tubes, vertically. Then I'll just have this whole piece sitting on top of that. And then I have to build, the base for it. I think the base is going to be somewhere close to 22 by 18, somewhere in there. The same dimensions as the Guardian base. It just looked good. It fit up and everything well. So today, what I'm going to be doing is welding up this piece, just to kind of show you guys how I do it. This is, like I said, all stainless steel. The front is welded on, but the back is not welded on yet. Let's let you guys see that. Like I said, the front is on, the back is not. This is just a tube or pipe, stainless steel, and we just weld caps on when we want to make, something like this. So again, what I'll be doing is showing you guys today. This is kind of how I do it. Nothing real big, but if you ever want to, make something similar to this, I'll just show you guys how to do it. So let me go ahead and move the camera in so we can just get started right away. All right, guys. Just kind of have it set up here. This is the can. That's the top portion there. I think this is probably like 3 inches or something like that, width-wise, something like that. And so what I do is I just take the top, set it on there, kind of get it, as level as possible. Don't want to have too much of a gap anywhere along the sides. I won't be making this, I'll be taking it in, welding it in. And I just want to just eliminate as many gaps as I possibly can. I will be, grinding this off, after the video and all that stuff. But I really just wanted to just show you guys, just how we do this. And I guess this video is how we make enclosed cans or small, donuts, or I'll come with the title for it. I know a lot of guys, when they shoot videos, they have a script written out, all that kind of stuff. I don't write scripts out because I want to just be able to, just flow as we go. Let me grab this TIG torch. And I have my torch is set at 80 amps, you know, for now. And if I feel it's not hot enough, I'll have to go ahead and crank it up a little bit. But I think that'll be good enough for what we're doing here today. So I'm gonna go ahead and so what I do is I'll just put a couple tacks, and you know, in like 4 places on each side. So after I do my first tack, I'll take something. If you have just a kind of heavy piece of steel, you can set after you do your first tack, or you can do it before you put your first tack on. Just set something heavy on there, because if you weld this side over here, let's say you weld in that spot right there, this opposite side is going to want to lift up. And if you're not paying attention, when it lifts up, you'll be welding, and you have this big gap on this side, and you'll be looking through there, and it'll just be a large gap. So now you have to you know, try and fight to fill all that in with your TIG rod. And then you could get something and put pressure on it to kind of flatten it down if you can, but you could cause a hump to be on this side. It just depends on how high it has raised. So I just do a few tacks. Like I said, one side, do one here, there, and there. Then I might do a few more tacks. It just depends on how big, whatever it is I'm doing. It just depends. So I'll put a tack on here, and then I'll take my clamp and just kind of clamp it down, and I'll tack the other side. All right, here we go. All right, so I have a tack there. Now I just take it and just spin it around to come to this opposite side. I'll just go directly across from that first tack. I'll just take this clamp and just clamp it down just for a second, just so I can make sure this is all the way down. Because it will want to try and raise up once you tack the other side. That's that one. Now I can go ahead and remove this clamp, because I think it'll hold up now. I can just put a couple more tacks here, and I think it'll be okay. And my welder is set at 80 amps. And so my heat is my sharpened tungsten is pointed right between the gap where the top and the vertical side, you know, meets up. So I can try and go right in between that gap, so I can just burn the two together. I really don't have to use filler rod. I could just fuse this, but I'm gonna go ahead and just use some filler rod just to, you know, make it a little bit stronger, I guess. So what I do now is I'll take this, well, actually, let me see. I'll just weld this while it's in an upward position, because there's right in here, there's a little lip right there. So I can weld this portion while it's vertical. But then on the other sides, where they fit right up, I'll lay it on the side so I can get the weld down in there. So I'll just start with it in an up position right now. And I'll just be just pushing some rod in there, because there's a fairly decent gap here. Not where there's like a big opening going in there. It's just this lip extends out beyond this lip, because this was just a piece of scrap that I got out of one of my buckets, and it was almost the right size. So I decided to just go ahead and use this, as opposed to cutting another another good piece just to do this. All right, here we go. I'm trying to build this out so when I grind it, it won't be a big low spot in this area. And I'm not completely on pedal to the floor. I'm probably about 3/4 of the way. So I don't want to get the rod too hot and it just kind of melts in or flows in. I want it to flow in, but I want to keep it high. And I'm pushing rod in. I'm not just landing on top. I'm not just dipping. I'm pushing it in like that. So I'm trying to build that corner up. So I'm probably actually around 50 amps, somewhere in there. With my pedal. It's a little divot here. I'm gonna go back and fill that in. And I just continue on around the circle, trying to keep my torch right in that the seam where they join together. I'm gonna go back on top of that. And just kind of build it up a little bit more. So you just focus on staying in the little seam. And get your travel speed, going pretty good, because you don't want to be too slow, because you can burn a hole in this metal, because this metal is not overly thick. Another thing to look out for, just thought about it, when you're welding up something that's going to be enclosed like this, it's best to either drill a hole somewhere on the bottom where you're going to have it hidden, or don't weld it completely. Leave a little gap so some of that pressure inside can escape. Because if you don't, it could just, when you do that final weld, it could blow out, and you'll have a heck of a time trying to fill that in. So it's best to let the pressure release from the cylinder, and then you can go back after it cools down and weld that little spot up. I think I'll do that right in this little area right here. I think. Yeah, I'll do it right there. I'll weld forward just a little bit more. It's just a little bit of a gap right there. So I think I'll just weld up to that point, then I'll go beyond it and come over here and weld it. And then once this thing cools, I'll go back and fill that spot in. Because for some reason, if I weld the whole thing and it kind of explodes, but not really an explosion, it just blows that last bit of weld out. It is hard as anything to fill that spot, because it's contamination and everything else in that spot, and it just does not want to weld up properly. So I'll just leave that gap there. Probably give it, I don't know, 20-30 minutes to cool down before I go back and weld that spot up. It's just a lot of pressure inside of here. When you weld that, when you weld the entire thing up, just builds up a ton of pressure, and it's just waiting to blow out. And what I found is if I'm going to weld the entire thing without leaving that little gap there, little opening, when I get toward the end, I really have to go fast before it just blows up. But I want to show you guys the right way to do it, so you don't have to be rushing. Just weld to a point, stop. Okay, what I'm gonna do now, since these walls are, the top and the sides are so close, I'm gonna lay this on its side, just so you guys can see how I do that. So I'm just going to just follow this now, just to close that off. So I just kind of roll it this way, and then go from this point over, stop, roll it, and just keep doing like that until I close it out. I love working with stainless steel for the most part. Sometimes it could be a bear to work with. Sometimes after you weld it and grind it and polish it, it gets a bunch of like black marks and all this kind of stuff inside. I don't know if it has to be contamination somehow under your shine, and it can be just a headache sometimes. And the reason I turn it on its side is because, like I said, that wall and the top are just butted right up together. And so it's better for me to have turned it over so that my weld can flow down into that tight seam that was there. I enjoy doing this, just doing little small stuff like this. gives you a chance to just think as you're welding. All right, getting to that last little spot. All right. Now what I'll do is just spin it around, make sure I didn't miss anything. It is hot. I have this little hole here, and now that pressure is just flowing out of that little hole. I really didn't miss this spot, but there's a little area I just want to just put a little tack on, because when I grind it, I don't want that to be an issue. I don't think it will be, but I just ready to get it everything filled in now. Then when I go back, I won't have to worry about it. And again, this thing is hot. One little spot here. Actually, I'm not going to put weld on it. I'm just going to blend it in a little bit better. All right. And that's how it's done. Go ahead and bring the camera up, guys. All right, guys, so that's how we do it. That's how we weld up you know, pipes and whatnot. Our donuts are somewhat similar, but a little bit different. It would take a lot longer, you know, to weld up a donut than it would, you know, a pipe like this, because this is you know, small. It's not, our donuts can be 13, 14, 15 inches wide, 20 inches wide. So when we're welding up donuts, of course there's a lot more welding, but we have to, you know, weld a little bit, stop, move, weld inside, weld outside, turn the thing over. Because if you don't, if you just weld around the entire perimeter of the donut, and then you go back and weld the inside, oftentimes the portion that you will see the face of it will be warped. Like, I mean, it would be warped, going all the way around the circle. You have big warps. It look like a freaking ocean. So we have to, you know, weld in the spot, go on the inside, weld up, weld on the outside, weld on the inside, flip it over. I mean, it can take hours to do, you know, something like that. But this, like I said, it's small. This is, you know, pretty decent thickness of material. So there's not a lot of room for it to shrink, because it's so small. So guys, if you are making sculptures and you want to, you know, like run a pipe, like running through a piece of, just say like an I-beam or something like that, and you want to run some pipes through the I-beam, and you want to cap those pipes off, now you know how to do it. And it's really on the sculpture you just saw. Put the picture up. The sculpture you just saw, running the pipes through the little shields, it's really doing the same thing. The pipe is open, of course, but welding it to that shield It's really just doing the same thing. It's going around that circle, welding that the outer diameter of the pipe to the inner diameter of the shield's hole. Basically the same thing. And so guys, that's going to do it for this video. Like I said, it's going to be quick, but hopefully effective. I hope you learned something from it. And probably on the next video, I might be like welding this piece to the little neck that's coming off of the, the headpiece or something like that. I'm not exactly sure yet, but I'll be showing you guys something. So I'll see you on the next one. You can like, subscribe, and do all the other YouTube stuff you guys know how to do. I'd appreciate it. And as usual, peace out.